individual could be a high-level target.
I can't go to Yemen. I'm an analyst. Get on the plane.
There's something different about his agenda.
Don't put the blame on me. On me. On me.
Ja. 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 Kult. 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 Jag skulle inte stå där. Jag skulle inte stå där. Jag skulle inte stå där. So we seem to be on. Let's just get a tweet out. There we go. So yeah, I've been playing with the thought on streaming on Twitch for a while now, and I thought I'd test things out a bit. And then Joel Sallow released a new version of PSKoans, and I thought I'd do a quick stream, play a bit with PSKoans, and just test it out a bit. Let's see if anyone watches as well. So, PSKoans is it's just PowerShell exercises. Can be used by newbies and also veterans, I guess, to hone your skills. It's basically a set of just tasks to do, built on Pester. So install it as a module. Just install module PSKoans, and then when you run an inbuilt command called measure karma meditate, it will open up VS Code in and populate some files that you can start doing the tasks in. So when you're in your editor and ready to go, you can run the measure karma command to see how far you've come. And now it tells me to then it examines my karma, and it tells me to go to AboutAssertions Koans PS1, which I've opened here, and start there, which should be the first task. So being built on Pester, it uses the should be or any other Pester tests as well. So now so here you can start. So it's a describe equality. So this is the here. This is the, I don't know, my English fails me here. The heading that failed. So it's in equality, and you can start doing tasks here. So let's just get going. So here we have a blank that should be true, and I guess you could just then do true should be true, and you would pass the test. So here we have a blank that should be 1 plus 2, which I learned in my basic math was 3, at least in the, well, at least up until the base 4 numbering system. From the base 4 on, I guess. And here we have a blank plus 5 equals 10. This should be true. So that means that we should have something plus 5, that is 10, and that's 5. And the expected value should be 1 plus 1. The actual value is blank. And here the test is that the expected value is equal to the actual value and should be true. So I guess we could just put a 2 here. And it demands balance. Both sides of the scale must be of equal measure. So blank plus 2 equals 3 should be true. So then a 1 plus 2 equals 3. Save. And then we run measure karma again. So now we've completed some, you see, 4 out of 279 Koans are completed. And we have moved on to AboutVariables. So we need to go to AboutVariables and continue our tasks from there. We can see partial variables are defined with the $sign and some text or numbers. Some special characters are allowed in variable names like underscores. The PowerShell Practice and Style Guide recommends Pascal case for variable names when writing PowerShell code. Variables can store any value, object, or collection of objects in PowerShell. Okay, so the first one is it gives a name to a value or object. So here we have a variable called 50, which is 50, and a value which is blank. And then we set a variable which is called greeting to the value hello, containing the value hello. And here we have value equals 50 should be true. So we could put 50 here, I guess. And here we have something that should be greeting. And the variable greeting has a value of hello. So we can just copy that. So then hello should be greeting. We can also test after each task as well. See if we were correct, and we seem to be. So we can move on to infers types of its own. So partial variables will infer the data type where possible. For example, the integer for whole numbers, double for decimals and fractions, and string for text. So in this case, we have a number which is a variable called number, which is 10, and this should be of type int then. You can directly compare task types. So here we have a number which is 5. The number is int. This should be true. which it is, and then a number should be of type int in this case. There are several ways of checking which type it is. So here we have a text, which is every worthwhile step is uphill. This should be a string, I guess. And the expected type should be text or get type, which should be string. Let's test this, see if that was correct. Seem to be. Expected. So we need to type the entire thing. Let's see if it was correct this time. No, still not. So it's a complete type descriptor string. There we go. 3 out of 6. It also allows types to be explicitly set, so we can say that the variable number should be of type integer, and a string should be, and you can then convert it as well. So here we have a variable called string, which we convert the boolean true to a string. So the number should be of type int, and the string should be of type string, which would be the string true in this case, I would assume. So if you measure this, we should have one more. Yep. And then distinguishes between types of numbers. There are many kinds of numbers in PowerShell, but the basics are integer and double for integers and floating point numbers. So we have a variable called integer, which is 100, and a variable called not integer, which is 12.0. So the integer should be of type int, and the not integer should be of type double. Yay. And then the last one is it allows you to declare constant variables. So with that, we set a variable which is with the option constant, and then the variable would not be able to change. So try uncommenting the below line. So now this should throw an error because it's set to a value 25 and it can't be set again. Contrast read-only variables, which can be later removed. So we set the variable with a name constant, value 25, option read-only. And then we remove it, and after that we can create it again. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to about functions and script blocks, which is this one, I guess. Now that we've seen the basics of variable assignment and typing, we'll look at some basic examples of functions and how they operate. A script block in PowerShell is essentially an unnamed or anonymous function and can be assigned to a variable or even later assigned a name as needed. So we describe functions. It allows you to assign a name to a sequence of commands. An apt name eases the transition to abstraction. PowerShell function names are named in convention following the commandlets. Verb, noun. To see the list of approved PowerShell verbs, run getVerb in the console. There are many methods of sending output from a function. So here we have a function called getNumber, which writes the integer 20 and the integer 42 to the output. And here we have a function called getReturnNumber. The use of the return statement causes all output previously declared to be sent, along with any output passed to the return statement itself, then ends the function. So if you had write output further up in the getReturnNumber functions, they would be written to the pipeline before the return clause, return statement. So here, but not after, yeah. So this should probably not be written to the output stream, I guess. And then we have a getDropNumber, which is just you write a number and it will be output. Yeah, leaving a value or a statement that returns a value on a line by itself causes that output to be dropped to the output stream. So if you just type a number or a string, it will be sent to the pipeline or the output stream. So should be getNumber. Now we should have an array, I guess. Somehow my keyboard is English. So it should be 30, 20 or 42, and 42. GetReturnNumber should be 13, yeah, so we should have 13 here, and it should not return the last line because it ends the function on the return statement. And then getDropNumber, yeah, it should be 12. So let's test this. I have probably not typed this correctly. Have I? Yeah, I did. There we go. And then the function, it can accept parameters, so functions can accept parameters. So this function will just accept any parameters. So here we have values. Then you can just supply values separated by spaces without ever defining the parameters, and then you can use args, the args array to pull them out. So here we have the add things 7 and blank should be 72. So we should have, oh, this is a string. Nice. So then we should have a 2 here. This is a trick task. And then here we have integers, so this should be 3. Then you have with explicitly defined parameter names. So we have a function called addNumbers with the parenthesis and then variable names, and then you return this. So addNumbers in this case should return 8, and in this case still integer, no trick here. Should be 31, so quick head math should be 16 then. And when you declare them in this way, you can also use named parameters. So this should be 20. So if we meditate on this, or measure karma on this, we should have another one declared. Yeah. Then we can move on to it can declare parameters explicitly. Declaring parameters in this way allows for more advanced techniques, which will be covered in About Advanced Functions. It works similarly to the simpler technique. Values can be passed in the same way by position or name. So here we have a function, and then within the function we have a param block where we define our parameters. So here we have a function called measureString and a parameter called inputString, and function should return inputString.length, so the number of characters in the input string. So here we have a measureString hello, which should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's correct. And then we have blank that should be measureString muffins, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it should be 7. Let's measure our karma. Wow, there's some error. No. And then we can move on to About Functions and Script. No, we're still here. So what's wrong? I didn't see the last one. Then describe script blocks. Script blocks can be used to group commands without defining a function. These can be used for various things, most commonly for parameters or defining a sequence of actions to be executed multiple times. Many PowerShell commandlets can take script blocks as parameters, particularly pipeline commandlets. Okay, so in this case it is an anonymous function. So we define a script variable which contains a script block, which is defined by these squiggly, I don't know what they are called in English actually. So this is a script block that just throws an error. So it uses the throw statement to throw an error. Sometimes you just want to watch things burn and the console to stream red errors. Yeah. Currently this will just output the script block as an object. Try appending.invoke to the following line to cause the original block to be executed. Yeah. So to execute a script block stored in a variable, you need to use the invoke method. Somehow it doesn't like this. Is it just slow? Probably. And then script1, script, which is this one, should throw, which it does. And script2 should also throw, since it invokes script, which throws. So if we measure this now, we should be good to go. Good to move on. Yep. So now we have AboutOrderOfOperations, which is the next Koan. I think I'll do that one and then end it for now, unless someone. Yeah, whoop Koans. There's the chat. Is this a long time ago? Probably. Maybe if I put the Twitch thing here instead. There we go. Okay, so let's do about order of operations, and then I'll end this for now. If this gets popular, I might continue doing streaming Koans. It's fun. About order of operations. There we go. So, order of operations. In PowerShell, the order of operations needs to be taken into account. Good afternoon, Brett. Sometimes even more so than other languages, because all native functions and commandlets take space-separated arguments. Any expressions needing evaluation need to be explicitly separated with parentheses in many cases. In general, PowerShell follows PEMDAS, I don't know what that is, although it has no native exponential operator. Parentheses always gets evaluated first from inner to outer if nested, but expressions cannot be passed as arguments without being forced to evaluate first. Okay. So it, and then the order of operations, it, thanks Joel. It requires parameter argument expressions to be enclosed in parentheses. Then we have a function add numbers with the parameters number 1, number 2, which should be integers, and it should return number 1 plus number 2. Be wary of open spaces when passing an expression as a function argument. So in this case, the sum is add numbers, 4 plus 1, and then 18. Yeah, so this will evaluate this parentheses first, and then add the second one as a number, or as a positional parameter. So the sum in this case would be 23, I would assume. And we want to have something to be 19 and add some parameters. So 3 times 4 plus 7 would be 19. So then we would need a parentheses here and an and one here. Somehow VS Code doesn't like my and parentheses today. Wonder what kind of bug that is. Let's measure karma. It seemed to have passed. Yep, it passed. Now it will evaluate an entire expression if it is the first element in a pipeline. A pipe character evaluates everything before it on the line before passing along the values. Okay. So this should be 11 then. And now we need 35. Yep, and then it should probably do the multiplying first. So 8 times 3, I guess. Yep. And then otherwise follows standard math, or was it not correct? Yeah. Otherwise, probably, I don't know, Shane. Otherwise follows standard mathematical rules. So although PowerShell doesn't have a native exponentiation operator, we do have math power, yeah. So here we have a value, which is 3 plus 4 divided by math, okay, so 2 to the third. So that should be 2 times 2, that should be 8. So can we just, is it allowed to cheat? Can we do 7/8? No, wasn't correct either. Two to the third, isn't that 8? Should be 8. Oh, it will evaluate this first, yeah. There we go. So 4/8. So it should be 3.5 then. There we go. 17 karma. How long have I been streaming now? Is there a timer somewhere? Do I need to just go to the stream? No. Lovely. I'm better than someone at least. So, okay. I can't figure out how long I've been streaming, but I think I'm going to call it a day here. So this was just a test. I think I might continue. Yeah, thanks, Joel. I think I might continue doing this some other time. But yeah, this was just a test stream in the first case. I find the streaming concept quite interesting. So if anyone wants to watch me, that would be awesome. But yeah, let's see. I'll continue my Koans adventure on stream a bit later. I'm going away for work for a couple of days, but then I'll be back and I'll do some streams. Yeah, probably during the weekend or after the weekend. What do you mean, Buzz Mark Krause? Mark Krause, should I? Is he streaming now? Can I? Oh yeah, I will, Joel. I will. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you later. This was fun. Bye bye.